Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to Shaping Tomorrow on IKIM Radio. This is Shafiq Burhanuddin, Senior Research Officer at IKIM. And in this first of the 8th season that we're in, we're honored to have with us a guest, a very learned and distinguished one from Indonesia. He is Sensei Imanul Hakim. And inshallah, we'll be discussing about a topic that he's very much involved in, which is self-cultivation with martial arts in the 21st century. Assalamualaikum, Sensei.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Welcome to IKIM Radio.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much.
Alhamdulillah. But before we proceed, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce our guest for today. Sensei Imanul Hakim is trained in multiple forms of martial arts, after having graduated from Fakultas Tarbiyah University of Muhammadiyah in Jakarta, Indonesia in 1998. Sensei Hakim brings a wealth of experience with him in his teachings of martial arts, having studied under various masters of various related arts. He has also served for several years teaching at the military police of Indonesia as well as the Presidential Guard of Jakarta. And I was made to understand since the time of President Suharto, as an Aikido practitioner for 30 years, I believe. Hakim Sensei has been exploring the spiritual aspect of martial arts and self-defense, and he is very passionate as well in helping others to discover the true purpose in life. In Indonesia as well, he has had success in the counter-terrorism, or more specifically in the de-radicalization efforts, by deploying the spiritual dimension of the martial arts to rehabilitate youth radicalized by extremism. So, Hakim Sensei, you obviously have so much to share with your vast experience. But perhaps we can learn more from where your background in terms of your education, and as well as how did you became involved in the martial arts to begin with. Please, Sensei.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. So you start from my formal education,
Sure.
Already you told
Yes.
before. So I graduated from Universitas of Muhammadiyah, Fakultas Tarbiyah.
Yes.
And but I focus more to informal study, which is martial arts.
Okay.
So I start martial arts at the age of 16.
Right.
And
Since you were in school, basically.
yes. And then elementary, the middle high school.
school.
Yeah. And the reasons, the intention is very simple. First time I joined, I just want to have kind of skill that can protect myself from harmful situation. So this is the first intention.
Right.
But during my times, and after many years practice, then I found something more interesting in martial arts.
Yes.
And that is the philosophy and the value and the wisdom within the martial arts itself. And that makes me even more to
Did you
to
started
understand.
off with Aikido or?
No, first martial art that I learned is Jiu-Jitsu,
Right.
the Japanese martial arts, Jiu-Jitsu. And then a year after that, I start to practice Aikido.
Right.
But Jiu-Jitsu and Aikido have connection because Aikido came from Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
Actually, so it's technically they have similarity, both of it, but they have differences in the philosophy and value.
Okay. So you started off, of course, formally you studied education, with Tarbiyah.
Yes,
Is it
yep.
mainly in education, I suppose, Islamic education?
Yep.
But is that something that you consciously pursued to study Islamic education, and then
Yeah.
maybe you had something in mind as well to deepen your study of the Deen vis-a-vis your martial arts?
Yeah, actually, my non-formal education start from my childhood.
Sure.
With my late father.
Right.
And he, since I was 6 even, he always asked me one question.
Right.
We know that in hadith there's a man arafa nafsahu faqad arafa rabbahu. So my father always asking that question to me since I was 6.
He who knows himself knows his Lord.
Yeah.
So do you know yourself?
Yes. So he asked, do you know yourself? So, and then I try to find what the meaning, because I'm still, and
6 years
still
old.
I'm get my 16 years old, and still they still questioning.
Right.
Find out yourself. And then there's something that very interesting. He said to me, and I asked, how come, how I found myself? And then he said, you have to study about the history.
Yes.
And very interesting history. Then said, what kind of history that I have to learn? And he said, it's history about war.
Mm.
So my father is very unique. He's not like formal educated in Islamic education.
Yes.
Is very very common man. Is like ordinary man, but he's very deep in tasawwuf.
Okay.
So my first education in tasawwuf came from my father.
Mm.
So and then that's the reason why I learn. I go to the Islamic university.
Right. Interesting.
That's my intention.
Okay, and I was made to understand you studied. You actually went to Japan to study
Yes.
some of these arts.
Yep.
Can you tell us a bit about that? How long did you study in Japan?
Yeah, I study in Japan. I study more about Aikido
Hmm.
and some arts like the art before Aikido. Like I said, the Aikido is I have a strong connection with Jiu-Jitsu.
Hmm.
So there's art in Japan called Daitoryu Aikido Jiu-Jitsu. It's very ancient art.
Hmm.
Because Aikido, when you learn Aikido, it's not easy. This art is mostly misunderstood by its practitioner.
Right.
Very difficult to understand because Aikido is very, very spiritual.
Okay.
So many things and many techniques, many movement I couldn't understand. It's very difficult. Why I move like this? There's no explanation.
Yes.
So I try to find the explanation from the art that before Aikido. So make the art that make Aikido established. Yeah. So this is that's why I went to Japan. So I learned Daitoryu Aikido to find the answer. And
What year was this that you go to Japan? Do you remember?
maybe
2000
yeah
something.
2000 something. Yeah, 2012 I think atau 13.
After you completed your degree, basically.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. After I finished my university, then I went to Japan.
Okay.
Then alhamdulillah, okay, I found the answer that I want to do. So I realized that Aikido actually only technically they connect with the previous martial arts, the Jiu-Jitsu. But the essence is completely different. That's why it's difficult to find the answer.
Right.
Because the essence of Aikido came from the founder of Aikido. He have a spiritual enlightenment, and then that's the spiritual enlightenment make Aikido is Aikido.
I see.
It's
So
not,
it has a different trajectory from the
different
original
trajectory.
masters
Yes.
of Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, it's different direction, different values, different essence.
Okay. So did you meet many teachers in Japan? How did you go about finding the teachers in Jiu-Jitsu?
I have two teachers in Japan.
Okay.
One in Nara and the other in Yokohama. And also they have a completely different methodology and approach,
Okay.
but the same philosophy. That's very interesting.
Okay.
Same philosophy, same values, but the different expression. So one sensei is very hard in appearance, and your techniques is very sharp, very hard. And the other is very soft, very gentle, but very powerful.
But both are Jiu-Jitsu.
Both are Aikido.
masters. Aikido. Sorry.
Aikido. I just learned Jiu-Jitsu in Indonesia. After I
see.
learned Aikido, I focusing on to Aikido.
I see. Okay, and that brings us to the next question, which is what are some of the biggest lessons you learned from these masters, these teachers in Japan of Aikido?
So the interesting things when I met my teacher in Japan, I already have the second level of black belt, so second dan of black belt. So I'm not like from zero.
Okay.
So I already second dan and black belt. So when I met my teacher, actually, I brought to him my question, not question, but the things that I found in Aikido. But I have to make sure this is correct.
Okay.
So I brought to him
In terms of philosophy, you mean?
philosophy and spirituality.
Okay.
So I have a paper and I show to my teacher sensei. I found this in in my practice. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Please teach me. And then he read my understanding, and then he said, where do you get this?
Yes.
Say, yeah, I try to understand, and if I pray, then I have this. And said, you know, this is the essence of Aikido, and all of this is correct.
Okay.
But mostly the Japanese will not give this to non-Japanese, he said.
Oh, okay.
So I ask you once more, where you learn this? Say, okay, Sensei, if I tell you, maybe you don't believe me, but I have to tell you.
Okay.
I pray to my God and asking for the guidance for this martial arts, and this is what I have. Say, okay, I believe you,
Okay.
because you have this not from me, not from human. So the heaven give you. From now on, I will not
Hide anything
not
from you.
hide anything from you.
Okay.
I give anything that I know to you. So that's the first time I learned Aikido from my sensei.
Now, interestingly, okay, just for our listeners, just to navigate your sort of your rank in Aikido, because you said you're second Dan black belt because
At the time,
at the time when you started in Japan.
Yeah.
And I was looking up on the internet, and I think the famous Hollywood actor what's his
Steven
name again?
Seagal.
Steven Seagal,
Yeah.
he's like 6 or 7 Dan,
Yeah,
and you're now at the level of
6 dan.
6 Dan, so you're just one level. You could almost challenge Steven Seagal basically. But although that's not the spirit of Aikido, but just for our listeners to be able to navigate the where these ranks are in Aikido. But I don't know whether you can share what those some of these advanced philosophies of Aikido, but maybe just in our context, Sensei, because 21st century. Modern modern human beings have a lot of problems. They are not able to deal very well with their modern lifestyle and the urban life in work, family problems and whatnot. Where do you see its relevance, having been studying this art in a very advanced way in Japan, all the way to Japan, coming back? What are the biggest one of the biggest of you that you may want to share, the biggest lessons?
Okay. I found the most fundamental things in Aikido that changed my life and changed my view about life also. I call it the origins body, like the body of fitrah in Islam. So I found in Aikido not only our mind, not only our akal, not only our soul, not only our spirit, fitrah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but our body is fitrah.
Yes.
So means those who lose his fitrah
Yes.
will lose his balance physically, lose his power physically, and lose his anything like health, anything. And in Aikido, that's the first thing that we learn. Especially in my dojo. I don't know another dojo, but my dojo, first time you enter our dojo, you not practice like you not. I will not train you like how to move, how to do this, how to do that. I just train you. I just explain to you how connect your mind, your heart, and your body as one. So that's the first lesson.
Okay.
First important.
Just to clarify for listeners, dojo is like your
dojo is the place for practice.
Okay.
And dojo itself, Japanese word, means the place for cultivation.
Cultivation.
Cultivation of spirit. That's dojo. So it's not physical. It's a spiritual.
Right. It's an ancient tradition and practice in the art, of course. Yeah. So interesting, and you find this commonality with the idea of fitrah in the Islamic tradition when you study the deeper teachings of Aikido, basically. And I'm also intrigued because I was listening to one of your talks before when you were in KL. You make the distinction between being a fighter and a warrior.
Yeah.
And in the practice of Aikido, is more about being a warrior.
Yeah.
Can you please elaborate more on that?
Okay, this is also very important value, because mostly when you train martial arts, you practice martial arts as a young man, you mostly that I know that many people want to be like to express their emotion and to prove themselves.
Right.
So when that intention come to you, that means you will go to the direction that you want to become a fighter. because the character of fighter, he want to prove himself. He want to become number one. He want to defeat his opponent. So it's very simple.
Right.
You want to become the best man means in fight, or the strongest man. So this is the show of ego,
Ah.
the show of desire, the show of ego, and this is the problematic in this modern world.
Yes.
The nafs is the ego is the most the problem.
That's right. Yeah.
If everyone have it, everyone follow this, and then that's it. That's all. Then everything is become the ruin the civilization.
Yes.
It start from
True.
the nafs, the ego.
The ego,
And the other side is to become a warrior. It came from the ancient, the origin purpose of martial arts itself. If we know the term of like samurai, terminology, Japanese terminology
Yes.
about warrior is samurai. Samurai, mostly people thought about samurai is a man who wielding the sword and then use the sword to kill the opponents, to fight.
Yep.
But it's completely wrong.
Wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, because the samurai means a man who serve. So the kanji of samurai came from saburao in Japanese. It means it came from two kind of kanji, a temple and a guardian.
Right.
So the guardian of the temple means the man who guard something sacred.
Yes.
That's the spirit of samurai. So the man who ready to sacrifice himself.
Right.
He believes something above him, and then he do anything to protect the things that's very precious for him. So the samurai is not a man who want to fight. He not love to fight. He don't want to seek for fighting.
Yep.
He wants to create better world,
Hmm.
in the peaceful world, or maybe there's something more valuable for their life,
Interesting.
and they protect it.
Right.
So this is the idea of samurai.
Hmm.
It's completely different from the modern idea about fighting art.
Yes.
So in Japan, they divide martial arts into 3 level.
Yes.
The highest they call Budo. Budo is to train man into a spirit, into the warrior,
Yes.
into warriorship. And the second layer they called Kakuto. Kakuto means fighting method. It's about fight. We don't say a warriorship. We don't say about sacrifice. There's no such thing. Fighting is fighting. You fight for something that you think that you want to prove
Yep.
for yourself. So this is fighting. And the lowest level I don't mean the lowest mean no value, but the different value, because it's only like for like sport, an athlete. So this is have a different purpose in martial arts. In Japan, the highest highest level of martial arts they call Budo.
Right, Budo. And I think very interestingly, based on your experiences in the past, I mean, as we have read in the beginning of the introduction, that you have taught the military police, the presidential guard of Indonesia. You have contributed towards the de-radicalization of youth in Indonesia. Seems like what the focus is more towards cultivating, or more towards becoming a warrior in that sense, and not so much towards becoming a fighter, which in the same time is also very aligned with the teachings of Islam and the embodiment of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Because basically, if you look at all of the Prophet's conduct, it's all about exemplifying
Yes.
what you just said there just now, about being
MashaAllah.
in the sense of being a warrior in that sense.
Yeah, mashallah.
But could you share some more about some of your experiences there, Sensei, about whether it be the ones that you've worked with the military or the presidential guard, and or the what's your experience trying to shape individuals to become a warrior? What is it like?
Okay.
What can you share with us?
I think this is different. This have a different explanation, because when I teach Aikido in military,
Yes.
my purpose is not to teach. My purpose is to find out, is it I'm I'm capable to apply my Aikido to military So it's
Okay.
like to find out, because
Yes.
Aikido there's no competition.
Right. Right.
So I need to find out, is it I'm really I can master this art.
Okay.
So they will test you. So that's my intention. But more interesting is when I share this to follow the de-radicalization program for the people who connect with the radicalism.
And when was this? When were you involved with this work?
At the time, this many I forgot the exact time, but it's just after many suicide bombing
That's right.
happened in Indonesia, in Bali, in many places, and it start after maybe a year after that. I joined this program.
Is it led by the government? Or
Yes, it's a government, and then also this BMPT, the Badan BMPT is a Badan Penanggulangan Terorism in Indonesia.
Okay.
It's satu
Anti-terrorism
anti-terrorism
agency.
agency. So this is they join, and then another is from University of Indonesia.
Oh, okay.
The psychology from faculty of psychology in University of Indonesia, and they built what they call sorry, I forgot the. Okay, later.
Okay.
Okay, so they have the program together. They make
Right.
a program. So alhamdulillah, one of the from University of Indonesia, one of the leading psychologists, he just came to my dojo, and she saw my practice.
Yep.
And then she said to me, "Okay, Sensei, I think you're the man that we're looking for our program."
Yes.
What program? The radicalization program. Actually, before that, I prayed to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. So asking, Ya Allah, because I'm very sad to, like, when I saw the suicide
situation,
bombing
yes.
situation, that Ya Allah, please, I want to do something for this. Anything, but I don't know how. So please guide me.
Mashallah.
And that's happened.
MashaAllah.
And that was happened. And then what I did to the people, to the men who connect with the radicalization is
Yep.
is return to the value of the body fitrah, the body of fitrah. So I believe everyone have a fitrah, especially Muslim.
Yes.
They're very strong fitrah in them, even though they are terrorists. But still, if they have faith, they have fitrah.
Yep.
So I just return to that state.
Okay. Help them to return to that state.
Yeah,
Okay.
help them to return to that state, and then through Aikido exercise
Okay.
is a very unique, and then I can share to many people.
What kind of exercise, if you could share, what kind of exercises that was
Okay,
you think was most successful with them, with this kind of people?
Mashallah. So in Aikido, there's a techniques we facing each other, like so one person to hold both of with both hand,
Yes.
his partner, and push and hold as tight as possible, as
Yes.
strong as possible, and the other is he has to raise up the hands like takbiratul ihram in salat.
Okay.
That's the techniques. So I asked these people, this man, I said to them, when you want to do jihad, you will do takbir. I said yes. Okay. There's two kind of takbirs. First, when you face like in jihad, you face the enemy,
Yes.
and you have anger, and you want to kill your enemy, and you do takbir Allahu Akbar, and you kill your enemy. And the other takbir is when you pray tahajjud. There is nobody except you and Allah, and that's the last prayer that you can do.
Yep.
And you feel very low in front of Allah. And takbiratul ihram after that. So which takbir will create power? Because if you want to do jihad, you need power. I said, okay. And then they all agree the first takbir. The first takbir. I said, Okay, let's prove it.
Hmm.
So then we
The one for fighting.
Yeah.
They believe it's
First,
stronger.
I asked them, okay, you hold the hands of your friends.
Hmm.
Don't let it go. Don't let them move. Hold tightly,
Hmm.
and you think that in the front of you is your enemy.
Yes.
See, then you want to kill him. Takbir,
Hmm.
and they did. Allahu Akbar, as like very
Hmm.
loud. Allahu Akbar. No, nobody can move.
Hmm.
Nobody can release their arm. No one's. No one's. And I wait until almost 1.5 minutes, and okay, wait, nobody. Oh, they stuck on that position.
Okay.
Okay, second time, okay, stop. I said, okay, no, do istighfar. I said, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. I ask you now, there is no enemy, there is no opponent, no you and Allah.
Hmm. Hmm.
And imagine that you're in Salat Tahajjud, this is your last prayer, your last Salat. And after you have that feeling, takbir. After they quiet for some time, and they say, okay, no, takbir. And they do the very low, the voice is very low in Allah Akbar, but no one can hold the hands.
Even if someone were to.
Yeah,
pressure,
this,
yeah, yeah.
they try hard, but they just move like this, very natural. After that, they takbir, really takbir. I mean, sir. Allah, and even some of them, they sujud, they're doing sujud. Many of them crying, and on the spot.
They felt something
They
different.
felt something. Then they asked me, "What is this, Sensei? What is this?" Don't ask me. Ask your heart. You know it. And mashallah, is like turning on at that moment. It's turning like this,
Yes.
160 degrees. They completely different idea. And then they stop. They don't want to. Even they ask me, Sensei, please don't leave us. Teach us this. We don't know this. Say, I want. Yes, I will accept you. Of course. And I realize it's not easy as I thought.
Right.
Because it's not just like that. It's something
long
else.
process. It's a long process.
Long process. And also, it's not me. It's many.
Yeah, many factors.
Many factors. Yeah. It's
Make them like that.
Yeah.
Understand. Sensei, unfortunately, we don't have much time. And
Okay, no problem.
Inshallah, we hope to
Alhamdulillah.
have you in many more episodes whenever you're in town.
Inshallah.
But Sensei, we would like to take this opportunity, maybe for a few more minutes, you could
Yep.
share with us maybe some of your thoughts in terms of what are some of the most important message you would like to share to our audience out there listening about this topic, about self-improvement, self-cultivation with martial arts in the present context. What message do you have out there? I mean, or advice to youth out there who are struggling, who have similar experiences as you, looking to search into these matters?
Yeah, in Aikido, there's a term that came from there's words from the founder of Aikido. He always said like this: that always back to the one, return to the source. This is very unique because
Back to the one
and return to the
and
source.
return to the source.
So I define this word as a back to the fitrah.
Right.
The fitrah means you to know yourself, to know Allah. You know yourself, then you know Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. The same like this, the man arafa nafsahu faqad arafa. Because the problem the today's people is because they lost their fitrah.
Yes.
So this is the problem. Then they're following the nafs
Yes.
desire. So when we return to our fitrah, so the problem, the anything that's negative, it will be inshallah will be nothing.
We will be able to overcome.
Yeah, overcome
Yes.
inshallah.
And martial arts, indeed, as you have demonstrated through your experiences, is one of the ways to return to that fitrah. One of
Yeah.
a very effective method.
Yeah.
But provided the intention is correct, to be a
Yeah.
warrior, not to be a fighter.
Yeah.
Which is more about if fighter is more about to prove yourself,
prove,
as you
yeah.
said. Whereas the warrior is someone more about serving, your family,
Yeah.
those around you, and
Yeah,
ultimately to serve Allah, I suppose, from the
true.
Islamic point of
Yeah,
view.
that's the idea.
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are very honored and humbled to have with us someone all the way from Indonesia, Sensei Immanuel Hakim, who is a master in Aikido and in the martial arts, and sharing with us about his thoughts on the topic of self cultivation with martial arts in 21st century. Thank you once again, Sensei.
You're welcome. Inshallah. Alhamdulillah.
Inshallah, with that, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.